Hi, Stephen. Thank you so much for taking out the time to share your experience with other firm owners that might be considering enrolling with us here at the Abundant Accountant inside our 8-week sales mastery course. Before we start, I'd love it if you could share where you're at in the world and what does your firm specialize in and how long you've had your firm.
I've had my firm for about 15 years part-time, full-time 2 years now. So I was working a full-time job plus doing that, and then eventually decided to go full-time. I'm up in Canada near Toronto, just in a little town called Grimsby, which is about an hour south of Toronto.
Awesome.
I specialize in small and medium service-based businesses, asset management, lawyers, professional, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Great. And
Yeah.
which are the services that you provide to those business owners?
What services? Bookkeeping mainly. That's the main feature. Payroll and tax preparation. I don't do any corporate tax, so just everything. Get ready and taxes. Filing HST, which is in Canada, which is our tax, GST, HST,
Yep.
and then prep it for to submit, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So,
Awesome. So what were things like in your firm before we met? I'd love it if you can share like what your stress levels were or how were you feeling before you had reached out to us.
um, my the stress for me was in the fact that I didn't have any process in my sales and marketing. It was just kind of hoping and praying for something to happen. Um, I spent a lot of money trying to figure how to do things, and nothing really worked. It
Yep.
was always just kind of throw some money out there. Hopefully, somebody can kind of help me do something, and nothing really has really worked so far.
Yeah.
So this has definitely changed my the confidence in being able to, now that I have a system that Michelle provided and taught us, to go in and meet a client is definitely increased. So you know, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Definitely,
And when you talk
definitely improved.
about spending money, Stephen, you were spending money on marketing and you were getting people
Yes.
to meet with, but you weren't closing them. How much money had you wasted on marketing and not closing those leads before you realized I need to fix my sales problem?
I previously I had somebody do some work for me trying to get me some um, leads and sales, and that was probably over a period of that was probably $800 $900 a month at that time,
Well,
and that was a shorter stint I did with him. And then I still have it going on where I have somebody running my social media,
hmm
again, not really producing anything.
yeah.
so
Not
so
yet.
yeah, so it's not yet exactly, but yeah, so it's going to change.
Yeah. And so, Stephen, I love it if you can share because I think a lot of firm owners are in your boat, right? They try to
Mhm.
post on social media, they hire these people here and there for marketing, and then they don't realize that they have a sales and conversion problem because you actually don't even have a sales process from the time when you get that person who's interested in your firm. Can you share with us how you realized you actually had a sales and conversion problem? And what made you, or what had you reach out for support and say, okay, something's got to change, even though you've tried all these other things and they didn't
Mhm.
work. And then you make this investment of time and money with us. If you
Yeah.
could share kind of that scenario and story for other firm owners that could connect to it too, where you realized, you know what, I can keep meeting people and not close them. And I have a sales problem actually. Like, share with us
Yeah.
the moment, like how you figured that out.
Yeah. So, well, initially, where I initially saw Michelle was on the CPP webinar that was hosted back in December, if I remember correctly. Anyways, so I remember hearing her speaking, and that's when I was like, okay, so something's something's not right.
Yes.
So that's where it was like, okay, there's something. Obviously, I'm not doing something right. I don't have anything in place. I'm just kind of, like I said, I'm just kind of throwing money and just hoping something is going to happen.
Yeah.
And so that's when it clued into me that when I heard her speak was that, or her, sorry, heard you speak,
Yeah.
um, that I need to change things
Yeah.
quickly
Yeah.
because, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And did you have any like hesitations or fears before you decided to end up working with me? Like, I'm just curious, you threw up money hoping it's going to stick.
Mhm.
I call it like the hope and pray model. A lot of firm owners do that, Stephen, by the way. It's just
Yeah. Oh,
you.
yeah. Yeah.
But did you have any fears, hesitations, or objections even that you had before you said, you know what, I'm going to give this a try? Like, I'm really going to go all in. I'm going to invest the time. I'm going to invest the money here with the Abundant Accountant, work with Michelle and her team. I'd love it if you can share what were those fears, hesitations, objections, and how did you overcome those to say, like, let's do this?
Um, I don't think I honestly had any objections, to be honest. My thought was because I'd also heard you on the Successful Bookkeeper podcast, which was right around the same time as that
Oh,
webinar,
yeah.
and which I'm a part of that group. So just having that reference with Michael Palmer
Yes.
and his stamp of approval and having you on the podcast kind of confirmed that okay, so she's obviously knows what she's doing.
I
Um,
do. Yep.
yes, yep, I know you do. So that was my when I met with Denise and we walked through the whole process and kind of that, the multiple phone calls we had.
Yep.
There was no, be honest, no major objection. I was almost 100% in pretty much right from the start, to be honest.
Yeah, what did you have any like thoughts about was this going to work for you or any other fears that maybe came up like when you said okay, I'm going to do this? Uh
Yeah, yeah. The one thing that just because you've like I'm sure everybody has done it. You sign up for programs and you maybe you spend the money on programs and it works, but does maybe it's because I didn't spend enough time and
mhm,
you know it's time implementing the processes and whatever.
yeah.
And so that's what I wanted to make sure when I did this because it's
Yeah.
a lot of it's a big investment and it's time, but I wanted to make sure I put the time in because it's actually very important, and I didn't realize how important it actually is.
Yeah, so share with us that. What did you not realize about how important everything you learned was? Like, what were those aha moments and like, oh my God, I had no idea. I'd love it if you could share that with other firm owners
Mhm.
who might have no clue, just like where you were?
Yeah. And when I did met with clients to set up proposals, that's what it was. I was proposing to them that
Yeah.
this is what I'm going to do for a year. I'm going to give you do this amount of banking reconciliations. I'm going to do these banks or these credit cards. I'm going to reconcile for you, yada yada yada. And that was pretty much it. And I gave them the price, and it was yes or no. And there's no emotion, and that's what the difference is. And what Michelle teaches is the dealing with the emotion and the pain points and helping the clients find their pain points and helping them
Yeah.
solve those pain points.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they don't care about the bank reconciliations and all the
No,
other techie jargon that you just
no,
rattled off. I was like, I don't even know what that means.
that's
But they
that's
do
right.
care about solving their pain points and having money in the bank or whatever that is. So
That's
I
right.
love that.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Stephen, I'd love it if you could share, like, how do you feel now, 8 weeks later, versus where you were without a process and,
Mhm.
doing your hope and pray method?
Yeah, no, like I said, it's definitely I'm on the right path. I'm definitely more confident. Um, Still work to go. I still got to work to get to, we were talking chatting previous, still going to take a while to get everything implemented, but at least I have a process and I can start,
Hmm.
you know, taking those steps and, setting up the proper, I don't want to say proposals, but what was the um,
Investments, investments.
investments?
Yeah.
Thank you. And just being able to learn how to talk with the clients when you're meeting with the clients, is that
Yeah.
it's not just about this is what I'm going to do for you.
Yeah,
but dealing with how I'm going to solve their problem. That was
exactly.
the biggest change from my mind.
And because you learned how to communicate, you also had some financial wins in just a very
Yeah,
short amount of time. Do you want to
yeah,
share how much extra money you made in just the last 8 weeks or anything else on the financial side?
yeah. So I had a AR, and there's one thing you first pretty much within the first week. It's like we got to get rid of that AR.
Yep.
And so my AR was 70, I think it was about 78, 7,900 from one client. And so it's on a payment plan, but it's being paid back and it is in process. So I have started receive those payments.
Nice.
So it'll be, yeah, so that's good. Instead of waiting for him to actually send me money. So that's done.
So you took the
Um,
proactive approach.
yeah, exactly. So
Yes.
it's set up and it's payment process. Anyways, as for and just setting up my pricing is um, definitely increased. My minimum is increased, and so that'll be moving forward for new clients and some of my existing clients as we start the process of implementing the new pricing with them.
Love it.
Um, yeah, so that's good. I was already doing prepayment, so that hasn't changed. So that was except for that one client. That was an old thing I had. So that was, but yeah.
Good
So
job. Yeah.
thank you.
So, Stephen, if you could go back and tell your younger self something about this program or working with us here at the Abundant Accountant and with my team, and if you could tell yourself 2 months ago and you wish you could have seen it in one of these videos, what would you say to your younger self?
Don't wait. Do it as soon as possible. Um, the sales process, not marketing process, is very important. Um, and being a bookkeeper and not really knowing that side of the business, it's something that we as business owners need to learn and
Yeah,
as soon as possible.
yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
And is there anything else that you would share, or any other words of wisdom for someone who's really serious about taking their firm to the next level and they want to eliminate the whole hope and dream process and sending
Mhm.
proposals and quotes and taking that passive approach, but really being proactive about their whole process and creating one? Because most firm
Yeah,
owners don't have one. Do you have any other
yeah.
words of wisdom for people that are listening right now that might be in those shoes where you were at just 2 months ago?
Yeah, I would say if you're watching this, just don't hesitate and call Michelle or Denise and set up an appointment and just learn and soak it all up and put the time in, put the investment in and the time and do your homework. It's not easy, but it is worth it. And your outcome will definitely be changed.
Yeah.
Your financial, your what you even just with what I see with the other students that I've gone through the course with, I've seen so many of them change from being stressed about, having to they're not charging enough for their services they're charged to being confident to be able to charge 2 times, 3 times, 4 times the amount that they originally charged in, and the clients are still saying yes, not a problem,
Awesome.
because they see because the clients know how good of a job they're doing.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Stephen, for taking out the time to share your experience with other firm owners that might be considering enrolling with us. And I can't wait to see what's in store for you in the next coming months to a year. You're
Mhm.
just scratching the surface. So thank you again for taking out the time. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.